Hey folks, it's Mad Mike here from Peaceful Roots Farm. Kind of give an overview of what you're looking at here. We have all of this land that I've been tilling on here. I've got a little bit left to do. Figured I'd give a demonstration of how the new wheel hoe works. It's a Haas single wheel hoe. And this area, a few years ago, when we established all of this, it was Three Sisters Gardens. I made mounds of loam from our old garden that we had pushed all of the dirt aside when we built the house. And I screened all of that loam and brought it over here in piles, one wheelbarrow per pile. And then eventually we tilled it into rows that were on contour with the landscape here. And the soil is really, really rich. Christine put down these mats. I showed them in a couple other pictures. I'll post a picture here. And then, yeah, we put those in between the rows, and it basically needs to be torn. It needed to be torn up, and now I'm tilling up all of the earth around, and just giving it a light till to get rid of the weeds and stuff that have overtaken the garden in the past couple of years. Like, we could have used cardboard and mulch and all that, but that would have required inputting materials, and we have this beautiful soil here that's ready to go, and we need to produce some food this year, so that's what we're doing it for our annuals anyway. We definitely still gonna do hugelculture and permaculture stuff, so yeah, thanks for checking it out, and I'm gonna get to work. Good rich earth. There's moss that's growing. It gets a little bit too much shade here, but certain things grow great in the shade.
And I'm just going to spread this fertility around that we've been growing for the past couple of years. Good stuff. Busting apart this pile of loam. Oh. It's been worked several times, but it's so full of fertility. There's like, under each of those mats that were in the rows is like worm farm. It's amazing. Good stuff. I don't think I plan to do this every year, but it's good to get the weeds out of here. Get things back under control so that we can grow food. Alright, what do we hear? Artifact. It's a piece of terracotta from the old farm that used to be here. Terracotta is actually a good ingredient in terra preta, which is the black earth of the Amazon, which is basically biochar mixed with food scraps and old crushed pottery, different things that have a bunch of little crevices in them that harbor bacteria and help the soil produce the most healthy, diverse flora and fauna, microfauna. Good stuff. So yeah, this is from the old homestead that was here. We can talk about that at some point. We don't know too much about it, but we know that there was somebody that lived here in colonial periods anyway. And before that, there was native people that lived here that must have lived in the area. But, yeah, good stuff. I'm going to leave that there, but we usually used to collect that stuff. We have a whole pile of terracotta pot stuff, redware, porcelain. People back in the day, they just dumped that stuff everywhere apparently. So we find it all through the yard whenever we have to till. Alright, I gotta get back to it. I'm gonna leave it there because it's good for the soil. what they were onto. Nice cool day. The black flies aren't out yet, which is excellent. Perfect for this. We had more snowpack than usual last year. Than we have been recently, I should say. We still have less than we should have. Snowpack is very vital in this area. Garden health. Keep everybody's wells. Soil, water, it's all really responsible for you, even more than anything. We are made of that stuff. In many ways. The mythologies are right about that shit. My second day using the wheel hoe. Till probably a quarter acre with the damn thing. It's freaking awesome. Wicked wood. Wheel hoe. Taking it off the dirt. Yeah. In Western Maine, we're gonna have ourselves a beautiful guy. A lot of this virgin ground is gonna come across stuff like this. Stony ground here. Foothills. Yeah, I'll give you a look. We're here in the foothills, Western Maine. We got nothing around. We styling. I got some grapes. I got some overgrowth over there that I'm probably gonna chop back and till. Got our tree and our leach field. You can see our other garden that I've got to work on here. Got the mountains all around. It's beautiful out here. Really. Having a safe place. It's important for everybody that's going through some sort of trauma. Life is traumatic. People have trouble dealing with that shit, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's, you know, sometimes people go through awful stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. Having to deal with that. I mean, there is something wrong with it. Having to deal with it. Having an outlet is always good. Gardening is an excellent therapy if you're physically capable of moving dirt around, creating living spaces and living things. Right here I'm destroying a bunch of living things. Kind of not getting you in the shot here. Alright, do some killing. I'm almost done with this area. It's looking nice. Like I said, a lot of this was virgin ground. See this? There's some sand and rocks in there now. Move this over. Some more mosses to move. This is all sphagnum moss. This is all addendum to the compost. I just want to get it out of the garden while it's alive. So it takes over everything. And these food doesn't grow. Even in permaculture, we're battling the forces of nature to keep our food crops growing in the annual garden. That's a very strange outlook to have, though, if you're battling nature. You're just battling other organisms in nature. It's not a battle, it's a coexistence. You have to help things grow. You have to keep some things alive to help promote the growth of the things that you want to grow. A piece of yellow plastic. So, anything plastic I find, I take and put it in my pocket. There's enough plastics in our foods right now. Luckily there hasn't been a whole bunch of people out here making junk in this area, other than terracotta pots and pottery. Look at onion. A couple onions. Last year's onion sets. Onions. They never really did much last year. We've been dealing with drought for a couple of years now, so certain things just don't grow well. Yeah, I'd say the wheel hoe, overall, good investment. This would have taken me several days to do this. Same job with the garden claw gold, which I used to use. I guess I can give that back to my old man. Revolutionary change to how we prep gardens here. I do a lot of digging like this for the hugelkulturs, as well as our annual crops like this. I hate to really till this land. It's so fertile and alive. But that's going to give us a good yield this year. We're almost done with this garden. Thanks for helping me. You've been excellent helpers. Oh, here's a mat. These are the felt mats. This is recycled denim insulation. We're getting rid of taking any sort of external inputs like this. We're going to move away from putting anything like this into our gardens because it's cotton, it's biodegradable, it's an excellent source of a mat for the worms to live under. I mean, when I pulled that up, there was like 5 or 6 night crawlers and other worm species under it. It's all granular, beautiful dirt. But cotton is one of the highest sprayed crops with herbicides, and well, the cotton is processed heavily. In between that and this stage, obviously, it's made from recycled uniforms and stuff like that. Then it's like it's just shredded up fibers. But anyway, we just don't want the risk of the herbicides that were in the cotton coming into the garden, so we're going to stop using stuff like this. And it was great. It helped add some fertility to the soil, even though we're worried about the herbicide effect. It's actually been beneficial, about the same as using cardboard, I guess, but cardboard is even less likely to have like glyphosate in it because they don't spray trees with glyphosate, and cardboard is made with paper, which is made from tree pulp mostly. So yeah, we've got all sorts of things sprouting in here. More onions. This onion set looks good. So I'm going to replant this over here in a strawberry row. Because Christine's asked me to leave this last row nearest to the road that's full of kales and strawberries. I'm not going to till that part. We've got plenty of garden here. We can let those kale go to seed, drop the seeds. We can plant other stuff in there in the no-till fashion. It's not going to hurt anything. Plants can coexist with other plants. Just oftentimes weeds are faster growing. What we commonly know as weeds are actually known in permaculture as pioneer plants. They're your first plants that pop up. When you till an area, destroy it, rip its skin off. In permaculture, they view ground cover as being like the earth's skin. When you tear it away, it destroys that little bit of the life in the soil. Nature doesn't like that, so it has to fill it back in right away. Weeds are like the blood platelets that come to the scene to form a clot when you rip the skin off. So, yeah. the ball bearing. What do you think about it? Nice soil. A lot of folks that do this method will do cover crops in between. Some sort of alfalfa. Till it in. In permaculture, no-till, not doing this to the soil is the ultimate goal, but to establish new systems or to re-establish old ones, sometimes you gotta break some eggs to make some omelets. And there you have it, folks. One garden, completely tilled, using this beauty, the Haas single wheel hoe. So this is a day's worth of work for me, basically. I started it yesterday, and I finished it today. Yeah, it'll wind you, for sure. But yeah, Look at that. Earthworms everywhere. I had to pull these sods out. This grass is part of the invasion problem. This stuff will take over your garden. And that's all that'll grow is grass. So grasses are the enemy, unfortunately. But they can be dried in the sun and composted. And so we have this. We're still gonna be doing everything organic like we always do. We just had to prep the area for abundant growth. Let's take a walk through now. We got the rhubarb sprouting. I'm so glad I got out here before the black flies. Holy shit. Look at all them rhubarbs coming up. There's more over here. There. 2 different varieties I got from my mom. Gonna probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. This is a hugelkultur garden, so it's full of sticks. I really don't think I'm gonna go through there with the wheel hoe. That would be a nightmare. So I think it'll remain a hugelkultur. We're just gonna have to strip back the top with hand tools probably. A strawberry bed with abundant strawberries growing. And this one doesn't have so much in it right now. The grasses are taking over, as you can see, though, everywhere. These are our main crop beds, usually full of tomatoes and all kinds of goodies. Leafy greens. That's the catnip. This is a trellis I made a couple of years ago out of just little sapling maple trees. Maple's a really good thing to use for that. These are some of my homemade tomato cages. I just took wire cage and I made these, so we'll be reusing these again. This is our compost heap here. Thanks for joining me with the Peaceful Roots tilling experience. It was a good time. Thank you for helping me again. Some potatoes that we pulled up the other day. So yeah, have a good time, folks. Thank you for joining me.